He's not a king. He's not a vampire. He's a monster who hides behind an aesthetic while his own flesh and blood starves. Stop whatever you're doing. Put the phone down, unless you're watching the most explosive Instagram live in the history of the music industry. On February 28, 2026, the internet didn't just break, it shattered. Iggy Azalea, the woman who has stayed quiet through years of humiliation, finally hit the go live button, and what she revealed isn't just gossip, it's a digital execution. We're talking about encrypted DMs that prove financial sabotage, voice notes that sound like a horror movie, and bank statements that show exactly where Playboi Carti's millions are going. And hint, it's not to his son, Onyx. Iggy looked into the camera with eyes full of a mother's rage and told 400,000 live viewers, "I'm done protecting the lie." For the next hour, she didn't just talk. She brought receipts that make Carti's opium lifestyle look like a house of cards soaked in gasoline. If you thought the previous leaks were bad, you haven't seen anything yet. Because what she dropped at the 15-minute mark, it changes everything we thought we knew about the most mysterious man in rap. Stay locked in, because we have the exclusive breakdown of the proof that is currently ending Playboi Carti's career in real time. To understand why Iggy Azalea decided to go nuclear in February 2026, we have to look back at the trail of broken promises that led us here. This isn't just a bitter ex-girlfriend story. This is a saga of psychological warfare that has been simmering for over 6 years. Since 2018, the relationship between Jordan Carter, better known as Playboi Carti, and Iggy Azalea has been a roller coaster of extreme highs and devastating public lows. It started as a hip-hop fairy tale, the mysterious, avant-garde rapper and the Australian pop rap queen. But the cracks appeared almost immediately. We all remember December 2020, the infamous PlayStation incident. While Iggy was in the hospital giving birth to their son, Onyx, Carti was reportedly playing video games with his associates, completely ignoring the arrival of his firstborn. That wasn't just a mistake. It was a blueprint for the next 5 years. Every time Iggy tried to build a family, Carti was building a wall. Throughout 2023 and 2024, the tension escalated into a series of Cold Wars. Iggy would drop cryptic tweets about deadbeat dads and narcissists, while Carti would retreat further into his vamp persona, hiding behind high-fashion masks and a wall of silence. He built a brand on being untouchable, a ghost that only appears when he wants to sell a $200 hoodie. But behind that ghost was a woman struggling to co-parent with a man who treated his family like a PR liability. He wasn't just absent. He was allegedly manipulative, using his massive platform to keep her in a state of constant anxiety. Insiders from the opium camp have whispered for months that Carti's behavior had become increasingly erratic. There were rumors of intimidation tactics used to keep Iggy from speaking out, legal threats, non-disclosure agreements that were supposedly signed under duress, and a calculated effort to paint Iggy as crazy to his fan base. Carti's fans, the most loyal and intense stans in the world, ate it up. They harassed her, sent her death threats, and told her to let the king live. They didn't see the woman behind the screen who was fighting for her son's future against a man who viewed his own child as a brand distraction. But they didn't know about the private messages. They didn't know about the financial leash he allegedly kept her on. They didn't know that every time Iggy tried to move on, Carti would reappear, not with love, but with threats to sabotage her career or cut off her support. The pressure cooker was at its limit. For years, she played the role of the quiet mother, hoping for a change that never came. But by early 2026, something shifted. The vamp aesthetic wasn't cool anymore. It was a cover for neglect. On that cold night in February, the valve finally blew. Iggy didn't just snap. She executed a planned, tactical strike designed to leave Carti with nowhere to hide. This wasn't just a live, it was a revolution. And as the view count ticked up past 400,000, the first receipt hit the screen, and the world realized the king was about to be dethroned by the one person who knew his real face. The live started in a haunting, total silence. Iggy was sitting in a dimly lit room, her face pale, her eyes red from what looked like days of crying. Or maybe it was pure, cold adrenaline. She didn't say hello. She didn't explain herself. She simply held a second iPhone up to the lens of her main camera. "I have 1,400 screenshots," she whispered, her voice cracking but steady. "Where should I start? Should we start with the lies or the theft?" The first revelation was the financial sabotage. This wasn't just about a mischeck. This was calculated greed. Iggy began scrolling through a series of bank transfers from a shell company linked directly to Carti's management and his opium label. For 2 years, the public narrative was that Carti was a generous father paying massive amounts in child support. But the screenshots told a different story, a story of a financial leash. The documents showed that while money was being sent, it was being clawed back within 48 hours through legal fees, unauthorized reimbursement demands, and property maintenance for a house Iggy was forced to live in but didn't own. It was a financial loop designed to keep her bank account near zero, while Carti was out here on Instagram flexing $500,000 custom watches and $2 million chains. "He told me if I didn't post him on Onyx's birthday, he'd stop the payments," Iggy claimed, her hand trembling as she showed a DM from an encrypted account believed to be Carti's private burner. The message was cold, short, and terrifying. "You talk, you broke. Keep my name out your mouth, or the bag stops. Don't play with the king." The comment section on the live was moving so fast it was a blur. "He's a monster," one fan wrote. "Cancel the whole opium camp," screamed another. But then, Iggy dropped the intimidation audio. The room went quiet as she pressed play on a voice memo from January 2026. The audio quality was raw, echoing like it was recorded in a marble hallway. You could hear a voice, slurred, deep, and unmistakably Jordan Carter's signature, raspy vamp tone, screaming at Iggy. "You think you're free? I own your image. I own that kid. If you go to the press, I'll make sure you never see a dime in this industry again. I'll blackball you from every label from here to London." Then, the sound of a heavy object, maybe a glass or a phone, shattering against a wall. Iggy's voice in the recording was a broken sob, begging him to just leave and go to his hotel. 400,000 viewers were stunned into a collective silence. This wasn't just toxic relationship drama. This was a man using his wealth and industry power as a psychological cage. But as the outrage peaked, Iggy wiped her face and looked directly into the camera with a smirk that was more chilling than her tears. "But you want to know why he was really threatening me?" she asked. "It wasn't just to keep me quiet about the money. He was protecting his other investment." Here is the first shocking twist that no one, not even the most dedicated celebrity gossip blogs, saw coming. Iggy didn't just expose Carti's behavior, she exposed his secret double life. She swiped to a high-resolution photo of a woman, a high-fashion model who has been seen in the background of Carti's recent music videos, holding a newborn baby in a hospital wing that looked like a private palace. The timestamp on the photo? November 2025. Iggy revealed that while Carti was telling her he had no money for Onyx's private school tuition, he had spent over $4 million on a secret mansion in a gated community in Atlanta for the second woman and their new child. He wasn't just a deadbeat. He was a master of deception, living a completely separate life, using the very money he withheld from his first son to fund a secret dynasty. "He's been using my silence to fund his new vamp princess," Iggy spat, her voice dripping with venom. The internet erupted in a way we have never seen. Hashtag Carti's secret baby started trending within 3 minutes of the reveal. The betrayal was multi-layered. It wasn't just that he had another child. It was that he was allegedly using the child support he owed Onyx to pay for the secret child's nursery. The live didn't slow down. Iggy began showing flight logs, private jet manifests that showed Carti flying the secret woman to Paris and Milan while telling Iggy he was too busy working on the album to see Onyx for Christmas. The opium aesthetic, the mystery, the darkness, the cool, vampire vibe, was suddenly revealed to be nothing more than a mask for a man who was allegedly bankrupting his first family to build a second one in the dark. But as the viewers scrambled to process the secret baby, Iggy leaned closer to the screen. "You think that's bad? You think a secret kid is the worst thing I found on his iCloud?" she asked, her eyes wide and haunting. "Wait until you see how he's been treating the artists he calls brothers. Wait until you see the opium tax." The section ended on that cliffhanger, leaving 400,000 people and the entire music industry paralyzed. The first twist had landed like a bomb, but the fallout was just beginning. The news of the secret baby and the secret mansion in Atlanta sent the digital world into a state of absolute, unadulterated anarchy. Within minutes, #CancelCarti and #JusticeForIggy were the only things on the global timeline. But if Playboy Carti thought a secret child was the peak of his problems, he was dead wrong. Iggy Azalea wasn't just there to vent. She was there to dismantle a kingdom. As the view count hit a staggering 600,000, Iggy began leaking what she called the opium contracts. He calls them his brothers. He calls them his family, Iggy said, swiping to a scanned document with Carti's legal signature. But to Jordan, they are just ATMs with face tattoos. She began highlighting clauses that suggested a predatory financial system. According to these leaked papers, Carti's younger artists were reportedly forced to pay a loyalty tax, a massive percentage of their show earnings and features that went directly into Carti's personal lifestyle fund. The escalation was instantaneous. Fake Twitter threads from ex-associates and former security detail began popping up, confirming the atmosphere of fear inside the opium house. One thread from a former stylist alleged, "Carti is addicted to the power. He doesn't just want the money. He wants the soul. He makes Iggy watch his new girls on FaceTime just to prove he can break her. He treats his artists like chess pieces." The industry backlash was a tidal wave. Major high-fashion brands that Carti had modeled for, labels that built his vamp image, began scrubbing his face from their websites. In the fashion world, silence is a signal, and the signal was clear. Carti was radioactive. But then came the second shocking twist, the one that shifted this from a celebrity scandal to a legal nightmare. Iggy held up a heavy manila folder with a government seal visible even through the grainy iPhone screen. It was a leaked custody investigation. But it wasn't Carti suing Iggy. It was the state investigating Jordan Carter. Iggy revealed that due to a series of anonymous tips regarding his erratic behavior, the leaked audio of his verbal threats and reports of substance-fueled parties at the Atlanta mansion, Child Protective Services had opened a formal investigation into his fitness as a father. The comments section exploded. "He's losing Onyx. The vamp is going to jail." The tension was thick enough to choke on. But Iggy wasn't done. She leaned in, her face inches from the camera, her voice dropping to a terrifying whisper. "The world thinks I'm the one who reported him. Jordan thinks I'm the one who betrayed him. But here's the truth." She paused, let the silence hang for 5 agonizing seconds, and then dropped the bomb. "The anonymous tip didn't come from me. It came from inside the opium circle. Someone you trust with your life, Jordan, has been recording you for years. They gave me the password to your encrypted iCloud. They gave me the hard drive." She swiped to a video file on her screen, ready to play. She claimed the video showed Carti in a private meeting discussing a disappearance plan, a strategy to liquidate his assets, leave his debts behind, and flee to a country without an extradition treaty. The implication was clear. Carti knew the walls were closing in, and he was planning to abandon everyone, his artists, his secret family, and his son. "Jordan, the FBI has been watching that iCloud for 48 hours, Iggy said, her eyes wide and haunting. The screen went black for a moment, a deliberate cliffhanger that left the entire internet gasping for air. Was Playboy Carti planning to flee the country to avoid the law? Is the opium era ending in a federal courtroom? The world held its breath, waiting for the video to play, as the narrative turned from a messy breakup into a high-stakes criminal thriller. The digital world is currently a battlefield, and the casualties are everywhere. As Iggy's live ended, the shockwaves didn't just stay on Instagram. They mutated into a global cultural war. On one side, you have the Carti loyalists, the hardcore opium stans who have built their entire identity around his aesthetic. They aren't just fans, they are a digital cult. Within minutes of the live, these supporters began a massive counter-campaign. It's all deepfakes. Iggy is using AI to destroy a black king, tweeted one prominent fan account with over 200,000 followers. The Opium Discord servers went into a state of total martial law, with moderators deleting any mention of the secret baby or the FBI hard drive as fake news propaganda. But on the other side, the human rights advocates, feminist groups, and the general public are calling for a total, permanent blacklist. Hashtag #CancelCarti became the most used hashtag in the history of Twitter, X, within 4 hours. The outrage isn't just about the cheating, it's about the financial leash and the alleged predatory system he ran with his younger artists. We aren't just watching a breakup, we are watching a criminal enterprise crumble, one viral TikTok creator explained to millions of viewers. The industry reaction has been even more devastating. This isn't just cancel culture. This is a corporate blackout. TMZ and Hollywood Unlocked have both reported that Interscope Records held an emergency 2 a.m. board meeting to discuss moral clause violations in Carti's contract. High-end fashion houses in Paris and Milan, who once viewed Carti as their muse, are reportedly sending out internal memos to immediately cease and desist any marketing campaigns featuring his image. Celebrity reactions have been like a series of falling dominoes. Rihanna, who has worked with both in the past, reportedly unfollowed Carti immediately after the audio clip played. But the most explosive response came from Azealia Banks. In a 15-minute unfiltered rant, she called Carti a fashion victim fraud and a parasite who feeds on the talent of others, while praising Iggy for finally taking out the trash. The division is getting ugly and physical. Reports are coming in of fan clashes outside Carti's pop-up shop in Soho, with police having to use barricades to separate protesters from the die-hard fans who refuse to believe the receipts. Even the underground rap scene is turning. Several prominent drill artists, who usually stay out of gossip, have started posting "the snakes are in the room" on their stories, a direct reference to Iggy's claim that a traitor inside Opium leaked the hard drive. The air is thick with paranoia. Every associate Carti ever had is now under the microscope. The industry knew, claimed a leaked email from an anonymous executive. Everyone knew he was out of control, but the streams were too high to stop the machine. This statement has fueled a massive fire against the record labels themselves, with fans demanding to know who else helped Carti hide his secrets and his secret family for so long. The controversy is no longer just about Iggy and Carti, it's about the entire music industry's code of silence. And just when you think the tension couldn't get any higher, the most chilling reaction came from Carti's main producer, who simply tweeted, "I'm signing off. The things I've seen, Iggy only knows the half of it. The world is now paralyzed, wondering, what could be worse than what we've already seen?" As the live reached its final minutes, the atmosphere changed from anger to a chilling, heavy silence. Iggy's phone was blowing up with restricted and private calls every 10 seconds. She ignored them all with a cold, robotic stare. "They're trying to stop the broadcast. They're trying to kill the signal," she said, her voice now a calm, terrifying whisper. "But I have the final file. This is the Opium Exodus. This is the end of the mystery." She played a final video, and this one wasn't a screen recording. It was grainy, high-angle footage from what looked like a hidden security camera in a private studio lounge. You could see Carti sitting at a table with 3 men in expensive suits, lawyers and fixers. They weren't talking about music of the caves or fashion shows. They were discussing asset liquidation. The audio, though muffled, was clear enough to hear the plan. Carti was allegedly moving millions into offshore accounts under a series of shell companies with names that had nothing to do with him. He was preparing to delete himself from the American financial system to avoid the massive child support and the pending IRS tax evasion cases. But that wasn't the twist. As the camera in the video panned slightly to follow Carti as he stood up, it caught a reflection in a large studio mirror. The person holding the hidden camera, the person filming this secret high-level legal meeting, was Carti's own mother. The live cut out instantly. Total, pitch-black darkness. The 800,000 viewers were left staring at a broadcast-ended screen. The internet went into a state of absolute shock. Did Iggy just imply that Carti's own mother had turned on him? Did his own blood leak the most damaging footage in music history to his ex-girlfriend just to save her grandson, Onyx, from a father who is ready to abandon him? Within 5 minutes, Iggy's entire Instagram account was deactivated. Not deleted, deactivated by the platform for safety and security concerns. Is Iggy safe? Where is Carti? The rumors started flying like shrapnel. A flight tracking account reported a private Gulfstream jet, frequently used by Carti's label, taking off from a small suburban airport in Georgia with a destination set for a non-extradition country in Eastern Europe. But no one could confirm who was on that plane. The opium camp has gone into a total 100% digital blackout. No tweets, no stories, no cryptic aesthetic posts. It's a ghost town. But just before her account was pulled down, Iggy managed to post one final, terrifying story. It was a simple black background with a white countdown clock, 21 hours, 14 minutes, and 2 seconds. And the caption? The FBI already has the hard drive, Jordan. The passwords you thought were safe? Your mother gave them to me. See you in the morning. The world is now counting down the seconds. This is no longer about a celebrity breakup or baby mama drama. This is a high-stakes federal takedown. Is Playboy Carti a fugitive? Did he really try to flee the country? And what is on that hard drive that Iggy claims the feds are already decrypting? The vamp era didn't just end tonight. It was incinerated. But the biggest question remains. When that clock hits zero, who is going to be left standing? This is without a doubt the most insane collapse in music history. We are witnessing the total destruction of an empire in real time. But we want to hear from you. Is Iggy a hero for saving her son? Or is this a calculated betrayal? Do you believe the vamp is actually on the run? Drop a comment below. We are reading every single one. Subscribe and hit that notification bell now. We are monitoring that countdown clock and will go live the second it hits zero. You do not want to miss the federal update. The fire is just starting.